Okay, so this is a video of how I installed power windows and power locks into a 2003 Jeep Wrangler TJ. What I basically did was here is kind of your universal window mount, motor mount that you can get on Amazon or eBay or something like that. This motor on the passenger side is not near as sluggish as the one on the driver's side. I tried oiling up the track a little bit and oiled and put grease in the cables here to see if that would loosen it up a little bit, and it did help a lot, especially on the passenger side. It's a lot faster. But basically what I did is I just used self-tappers from the hardware store, and the kit came with these brackets. And just self-tapped them into the body of the door frame on the Jeep. And you'll see two brackets here that I made up only because I ran out of these on the other side. They didn't really give you enough, so I just took a piece of flat iron that already had holes in it and just pre-drilled a couple right there just to fit into the motor. But then the wiring is pretty straightforward. For normally for these kits, you'll have two wires that come out, a blue and a green, and you run that back through the door. And I just drilled a hole right underneath the strap there and ran some wire loom through. And I need to tie everything up. It's a little loose, but just use like a 4-pin trailer connector to connect the windows. The window wires and the door actuators. These wires will go up towards, two of them go for the lock and unlock on the door, and then two of them go up into the switch panel right here, which I kind of have hacked up right now, but the two wires from the up and down on the windows eventually get fed up through here and into this switch. And the window kit came with these two window switches that already had everything pretty well pre-wired. All I had to do was basically tap into a power source and a ground. The two window switches and the lock switch I mounted right here on in a free spot that I had, next to my stock power outlets and the defroster and back windshield. But yeah, up, down, lock and unlock for the doors, and windows for the driver's side windows as well. But then you get into the locks, and the locks were a lot easier to mount than the electric motors for the windows. Over here, I'll peel back this a little bit so we can get a better look. I mounted the door lock actuator just right onto the right onto the door, and then came out and just tapped onto right there to get power to push in, lock. That's locked, non-locked, and it will push in and out when the Jeep is turned on. I wired the door locks for a reverse polarity system, which is what Crime Stopper recommended for me to do, since I'm going to add eventually a Crime Stopper remote start system into it. As far as the back tailgate goes, this one got a little interesting. The back tailgate was a lot harder to do. Basically what you do is, and of course I don't have it, there we go. I had to do a little bit of cutting, and I didn't want to, but I just had to get everything to fit like it should. There's lock, and pushed up would be unlocked. What I had to do is take the door actuator and get it to slide down in between the outside metal of the tailgate and then this inner piece right here. And I had to cut a lip off right here, and I scratched the whole side of the Jeep up just because I wasn't as careful as I should have been, and I kind of messed up. But I had to shave a little bit off the plastic sides of the actuator to get it to sit down in. And then at the bottom of the actuator that you can't see, I did a lot of electrical taping around the wires to keep them from bending and breaking, which is what happened the first time I tried to do this, which warranted me to have to replace the whole actuator. But once I got it mounted in, you know, you just you can make it work. I didn't get it quite as straight as I wanted it to, but quite frankly, it was about midnight when I was working on it, and I kind of gave up hope, and I got it to work. But as far as the wiring goes, I ran the wiring back through the back door here and just out this plastic piece into a grommet, and there were pre-existing holes here and here that my wire was just, you know, so conveniently able to fit through, so I stuck it through there and then ran it up to the front of the Jeep and brought it out right there. I can't get my hand on it, right there. And I'll show you what the driver's door looks like completed, because I have this pretty well completed. The kit that I got included some covers to put over the gear assembly for the window motor, and I just have to slap one of them on yet. But everything seems to work semi-good because this Jeep was not made for this. You know, you're going to run into some issues, some aftermarket problems, and I will not say that my wiring is up to par, because it's not. I made it to work. And of course, if you have any questions about it, I can give you the best advice I can, since I have everything zipped up now. But if you need me to touch on something that I didn't touch on the video, or am I just forgetting, I will do that. So I'll quickly just do a demonstration here. You know, get in the Jeep. Everything's all torn up, but key in the ignition. I'll close this door and leave the other one open for now. But while we're in here, eventually, you know, the switch panel sit up like that, and you can see we have the two window switches and the door lock. The door lock switch, that's lock, unlock, lock, unlock, and it does the same thing for the tailgate as well. The window, the driver's side window, is right here. And it also is probably kind of slow because I've been doing a lot of testing, and the battery is pretty much dead on this Jeep for me doing the testing. And it might be that it just needs to charge a little bit. Or I might have to take the door panel off and check and see if I'm rubbing against something. It didn't look like I was. I did get WD-40 on the door from lubing up the window tracks and stuff. But if you look over here at the passenger side, that one is a lot more fluent. And I don't know why, but for whatever reason it just is. And of course, lock, unlock, you know, both window switches. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to comment. You know, if there's anything I can do to help, I would be more than happy to. All you have to do is ask. The only thing that I do not like, and it's so nitpicky that nobody will notice it except for me, is that this is a red light instead of two. The lock switch that I got had a red light in it instead of a green light, and that was my bad. I should have noticed that. And I may, and if it gets to the point where it bothers me that much, I'm going to swap it out with a green light just to have, you know, everything equal across the board. But once again, if you need any help, go ahead and leave a comment or shoot me an email. Sounds good. Okay.